What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio for Friday, July 24th, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. A shooting occurred in a movie theater in Lafayette, Louisiana Thursday night. At least 3 people were killed, including the gunman, now identified as John Russell Hauser. 7 others were injured, with their conditions ranging from non-life-threatening to critical, police said. Their age range went from late teens to 60s. Late on Thursday night, police announced that 1 victim had been released from hospital and another was in surgery but not doing well. The shooting happened during a screening of the Grand 16 Theater of the comedy Trainwreck, according to local media reports. Television station KLFY posted a picture on its website showing multiple police cars outside the theater. The shooting was first reported at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, officials said. The lone gunman and 1 other person were pronounced dead at the scene. A 3rd person died later. Moviegoer Kay Domingue told the Lafayette Advertiser newspaper that the gunman opened fire about 20 minutes into the movie. Dominguez said, "We heard a loud pop we thought was a firecracker." She reported seeing an older white man stand up and open fire. Dominguez said, "He wasn't saying anything. I didn't hear anybody screaming either." Dominguez went on to say that she heard about 6 shots before she and fiancé Joshua Dogger ran towards the nearest exit. Last Thursday night, police held a news conference saying that the gunman, Hauser, was a 58-year-old white male who was a theater patron. Police declined to give his name, although they did say they know his identity. They wanted to explain that he opened fire with a handgun. An estimate of 100 people were inside the theater when he started shooting. As a precaution, police said that they had closed other movie theaters in Lafayette, a city of about 124,000. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, who tweeted earlier in the evening, asked his followers to pray for the victims, also appeared at the late-night news conference. Jindal, a Republican candidate for president, said he was horrified and shocked and thanked emergency crews for their bravery. Jindal said, adding, the first responders, the law enforcement community, they ran towards the shots fired, they ran towards danger, not away from it. Whenever we hear about these senseless acts of violence, it makes us both furious and sad at the same time. I think I speak for every mom and dad out there, for every parent out there who wants to just go and hug their kids. The shooting happened almost 3 years to the day of the movie theater massacre in Aurora, Colorado. On July 22nd in 2012, James Holmes opened fire during a midnight screening of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. Last week, a Colorado jury found Holmes guilty of killing 12 people and wounding 70. The trial is now in the second phase, in which the jury will consider the punishment for Holmes, either life in prison or the death penalty. Trainwreck star Amy Schumer was one of the first members of the Hollywood community to respond after the shooting at the Lafayette, Louisiana movie theater that killed 3 people, including the lone gunman. 9 others were injured. The comedian tweeted, "My heart is broken and all my thoughts and prayers are with everyone in Louisiana." Other stars quickly reacted when they heard the news, including British singer Sam Smith, who expressed his despair. Another shooting? What is happening? So sad. Thoughts are with the families of those injured and killed. Sugar Ray Leonard, boxing legend, wrote on Twitter, "So sad to hear about the hashtag Lafayette shootings. Prayers go out to the victims and their families." Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump also offered his condolences. "Thoughts and prayers with everyone in Lafayette, Louisiana this evening," he wrote. Ben Gazelle, the president and CEO of the American Film Institute, issued a statement to the Wrap saying, "Going to a summer movie is a celebration of America's creative spirit and one of our nation's most beloved pastimes. Let us stand together in these times of tragedies and embrace what is precious to us, churches, schools, and places where the arts can send our spirits." He also added, "As a national community of artists and audiences, AFI offers our heartfelt sympathies to the victims in Louisiana and their families." However, a number of social media users criticized Jindal, the governor, who has actively spoke out against restrictions of gun ownership. Will Wheaton, former Star Trek The Next Generation actor, said on Twitter, "I'll meet you halfway, Bobby Jindal. I'll pray that elected people like you get serious about stopping our national epidemic on gun violence." John Green tweeted, "Came back to the hotel and saw the devastating news about the shooting in Lafayette. Send my thoughts and prayers to all involved. Comedian Michael Ian Black wrote, another movie theater shooting. What is the appropriate amount of time to wait before we start discussing gun control? Tamir Mary House tweeted, my heart and prayers go out to those in Louisiana affected by the shooting tonight. As a nation, we need to rise above the violence. Basketball legend Dick Vitale said, so tragic what has happened in Lafayette, L.A., which is all this hate and violence goes around this nation. Can we learn to love one another? Tremmy star Wendell Pierce tweeted, the culture of our violence is not new. Our country was built on a culture of violence. We have to consciously decide to change. Timothy Simons tweeted, we have to put the rights of people to carry guns ahead of the rights of people and children to live. We have the country we deserve. Comedian Orlando Jones tweeted, saying a special prayer to the victims of Lafayette, Louisiana's theater shooting. Times like these make it hard to find light in all the darkness. Jack Osborne tweeted, thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the Lafayette shooting. My wife is from that area and knows one of the injured. Hits home. Larry King tweeted, my thoughts and well wishes are with the people of hashtag Lafayette, Louisiana tonight. 3 dead and 7 or more injured in a theater shooting. Horrible news. And former talk show host Montel Williams tweeted, hashtag Lafayette shooter used a handgun per LA troopers. Police not saying what type. Shooter 58, white male, died of self-inflicted gunshot wound. In a related story, President Barack Obama said that gun safety laws in the United States has been one area where I feel that I've been most frustrated and more stymied. In an interview on Thursday with the BBC, hours before news broke that a man opened fire at a Louisiana movie theater and killed 3 moviegoers and injured 7 others before killing himself, Obama discussed gun control with the network. Obama said, if you ask me, where has been the one area where I feel that I've been most frustrated and most stymied? It is the fact that the United States of America is one advanced nation on earth in which we do not have sufficient common sense gun safety laws, even in the face of the repeated mass killings. He continued, if you look at the number of Americans killed since 9/11 by terrorism, it's less than 100. If you look at the number that has been killed by gun violence, it's in the tens of thousands. For us not to be able to resolve that issue has been something that's distressing, but it's not something that I tend to stop working out in the remaining 18 months. The WWE has cut ties with wrestling legend Hulk Hogan after an audio from a radio interview surfaced in which the wrestler repeatedly used the N-word. In a statement obtained by The Wrap, the company said WWE terminated its contract with Terry Bollea, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan. WWE is committed to embracing and celebrating individuals from all backgrounds as demonstrated by the diversity of our employees, performers, and fans worldwide. Hogan tweeted about the incident late Thursday night, saying, in the storm I release control. God and his universe will sail me where he wants me to be. One love. Hogan came under fire after it was revealed he used a racial epithet several times during a radio interview with DJ Who Kid in 2012. He used the term several more times and asked why it was okay for black people to use the term but not him. The WWE has already removed most mentions of Hogan from its websites and stores. This comes at a particularly bad time for Hogan, who is currently engaged in a $100 million lawsuit against Gawker over the release of a sex tape featuring the wrestler. Hogan is one of the most popular wrestlers in history, with Hulkamania ruling over WWE programming during the 80s and early 90s. He won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship 6 times during his career, most recently in 2002. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005. The New York Times changed parts of an exclusive story about a potential criminal investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email while the Secretary of State without any notification or response. The New York Times first reported 2 inspectors generals had requested the Justice Department to probe into whether Hillary Rodham Clinton mishandled sensitive government information on a private email account she used as a Secretary of State. That sentence was changed into whether sensitive government information was mishandled in connection with the personal email account of Hillary Rodham Clinton used as Secretary of State. The change seemed subtle enough, but the paper inserted no notifications regarding its reasoning for altering the wording. The story's headline was also changed from "Criminal Inquiry Sought in Hillary Clinton's Use of Email" to "Criminal Inquiry is Sought in Clinton's Email Account." Co-author of the story, Michael Schmidt, said that the changes came in response to a request from the Clinton campaign. Schmidt said it was a response to complaints we received from the Clinton camp that we thought were reasonable, and we made them. Clinton's campaign commented on the Times story, which was significantly revised. Campaign spokesperson Nick Merrill said, contrary to the initial story, which has been already significantly revised, she followed appropriate practices in dealing with classified materials. As has been reported on multiple occasions, any released emails deemed classified by the administration have been done so after the fact and not at the time they were transmitted. In an interview with CNN in July, Clinton reiterated she did nothing illegal in using her personal email account as Secretary of State. Angelina Jolie Pitt is directing a Cambodia-set drama as a Netflix original movie. The actress in Unbroken Helmer is set to adapt Long Ung's memoir, First They Killed My Father, A Daughter of Cambodia Remembers, for the streaming service Netflix, said on Thursday. Ung, a Cambodian author and human rights activist, writes about surviving the Khmer Rouge regime in her memoir. Jolie Pitt has co-written the screen adaptation with Ung and will produce as well as direct. Rithi Panth, director of the Oscar-nominated Best Foreign Language film The Missing Picture, will also serve as a producer. Netflix, which said it will submit the film available to major film festivals, plans to make it available to its subscribers in the fall of 2016. Jolie Pitt, who is currently completing By the Sea, the marital drama she has directed that will be released by Universal in November, plans to begin production later this year in Cambodia on Father. She's postponing filming on Africa, her planned drama for Paramount and Skydance about Dr. Richard Leakey's battle against the illegal wildlife trade, but she said in announcing Father that she will remain committed to Africa, which needed more time for script work and production planning. Ung's memoir, which was first released in 2000, recounts how the Khmer Rouge took power in Cambodia when she was 5 years old and how she was trained as a child soldier in a work camp for orphans while her 6 siblings were sent to labor camps. Universal has announced that a sequel to Jurassic World will be released Friday, June 22, 2018. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard will return to star. Jurassic World Helmer Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly, who did a rewrite of World, will write the script for the sequel. Steven Spielberg will return to executive produce and Frank Marshall to produce. Trevorrow, who is not expected to return to direct, will also be an executive producer on the Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment sequel. Jurassic World, which opened in theaters in June, has been one of the biggest successes in the history of Universal. It is now the number 3 domestic release of all time with $614.3 million and the number 3 worldwide release of all time. It broke a slew of records and has earned $1.5 billion worldwide to date. The film currently has the 2018 date to itself. Candace Cameron Bure and Good Morning America weekend co-anchor Paula Faris are nearing deals to join the ABC talk show The View as co-hosts, according to sources. They would join recent additions Raven Simone and Michelle Collins, as well as veteran co-host Whoopi Goldberg. The flurry of new faces follows the exits of Rosie O'Donnell and Rosie Perez, who paid a tearful farewell to the show on July 21st. Nicole Wallace will not return full-time for season 19. It remains to be seen whether she will choose to return occasionally as a guest co-host. There are 2 weeks left for season 18. An announcement regarding on-air talent is not expected before the end of the season. Faris has been with ABC News since 2012, while Cameron Bure has been a frequent View guest co-host this past season. The actress, who is also starring in Netflix's upcoming Full House revival, quickly has become known for her conservative opinions, which were formerly the calling call of Wallace and before her Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Although production already has begun on Fuller House in Los Angeles, Cameron Bure would have to juggle the 2 gigs for her first few months on The View. The addition of the duo would put The View at 5 co-hosts, an increase of 1 from season 18. ABC declined to comment. Much like its CGI sharks swirling in a funnel cloud, Sharknado's ratings always have to have a date with gravity. 2 years after Sci-Fi's original B movie captured the zeitgeist and Twitter wrapped attention, and a year after its follow-up set network records, number 3 expected proved less formidable of the draw. The premiere telecast of Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No, drew an average 2.8 million viewers for the cable network. That's off from the second one's 3.9 million haul, but still a nice distance from the original's modest 1.4 million viewers. So be sure that's still an excellent showing compared to the campy telepicks that Sci-Fi still regularly airs. And considering the social buzz of Sharknado 3 still managed to capture, it's unlikely anyone is rethinking the choice to greenlight number 4. That was made before numbers came in. Sharknado 3, like its two predecessors, also will see a considerable boost after the premiere. DVR and a heavy dose of encores should see Wednesday's initial audience grow. The second installment's gross viewership rose to nearly 10 million within just a few days of the original broadcast. Empire's return is just 2 months away, and the star-studded cast list just keeps growing. Ludacris is the latest celebrity to announce involvement in Fox's hit drama. B shared a photo of himself alongside Terrence Howard, aka the now incarcerated Lucius Lyon, supporting what appears to be an officer's uniform. Luda captioned the photo, "This could get interesting. Hashtag Empire Season 2. Other new cast members confirmed for Season 2 include Marissa Tomei, Kelly Rowland, Chris Rock, and Alicia Keys. The video for Demi Lovato's dark dance floor jam Cool for the Summer is out, and it's a neon-drenched ode to summer fun with an emphasis of what happens after dark. Lovato hits the club, rages at a foam party, and rocks a revealing top while hanging out with her sweat-covered friends on the dance floor. Cool for the Summer right now is currently sitting at number 31 on the Hot 100 Billboard Charts. Actor James Franco is writing a book about pop star Lana Del Rey. The book is called Flipside, Real Imaginary Conversations with Lana Del Rey, and it's due out March 15th, 2016 via Powerhouse Books. It's 100 pages long and was co-written by David Shields. The paperback is up for pre-order. Back in September 2014, Franco wrote a tribute to Del Rey for V magazine called Shades of Cool. The groundbreaking musician Frank Zappa will be the subject of a new documentary that Alex Winter is writing and directing with the cooperation of the Zappa Family Trust. He will produce the film alongside Glenn Zipper, with whom Winter also worked on his most recent documentary, Deep Web, about the darker corners of the internet. Because of the cooperation of the Zappa Family Trust, the films, who are aiming for 2017 release, said they will have exclusive access to the Zappa Vault, a collection of unseen visual and audio recordings, in addition to previously released video clips, interviews, and concert recordings, with Winter noting that, quote, "Our tale will be told primarily in Frank's own words. He'll be our guide through this journey." The director added that he is not planning a standard music doc or biopic, but an epic saga of a great American artist and thinker, a major event worthy of the scope of Zappa's prodigious and varied creative output and the breadth of his personal and political life. Gail Zappa, Zappa's widow, commented in a statement, "We couldn't be happier to be working with Alex, an extraordinary filmmaker in his own right, with an advanced degree in perfect timing and a shared respect for conceptual continuality. We feel it's our duty. We also like his attitudinal position. Gravity and humor go a long way with us." Added Zappa's son Ahmet Zappa, "This is not an easy story to tell, and we just trust that Alex truly understands the complex and multifaceted man that my father was." A prolific composer and performer, Zappa released more than 65 albums and made several films in a career spanning less than 30 years before his death from prostate cancer in 1993. He was named Rolling Stone magazine as number 71 on the list of 100 greatest artists of all time and number 22 on its list of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time. The Zappa Family Trust recently released the album Dance Me This, completed by Zappa in 1993. Winter, who famously starred with Keanu Reeves in 1989's Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure, has directed 2 narrative features, Freaked and Fever, as well as documentaries like Download, which looked at Napster's Sean Parker and Sean Penn. In a profanity-laced video, Grammy Award-winning singer Chris Brown vented his frustration Thursday at being stuck in the Philippines for a second day after running afoul on a powerful religious group that filed a fraud complaint against him for a canceled concert. Brown was still in the country Thursday evening and had not applied for the immigration clearance he needs to leave Manila, Immigration Bureau spokesperson Lane Tan said in a text to the Associated Press. The 26-year-old R&B singer performed the packed concert in Manila on Tuesday, but had been prevented from leaving since then. In videos posted on Instagram, Brown clowns around asking, "Can somebody please tell me what the fuck is going on?" "I don't know. I'm reading headlines after headlines. What the fuck?" he added, smiling as companions laughed in the background while sprawling on sofas. In another video, Brown says when he gets to customs, he will say he did nothing wrong. He then breaks into dance as people laugh. The expletive-laden video appears to have been removed from Brown's Instagram account Thursday. A new video posted around midnight showed Brown kneeling on the same patterned carpet as before and pleading, "Please, please, let us leave, please," then doing a backflip. The clip caption seemed to be a mock appeal to President Obama. The dispute traced back to last New Year's Eve when Brown canceled a concert at the 55,000-seat Philippine Arena north of Manila, which is operated by a corporation owned by the politically influenced Iglesia en Cristo religious group. The 101-year-old group is believed to have more than 1 million members both in the Philippines and abroad, and is known to vote for as a bloc in a nation where politicians often seek endorsements from church leaders. The organizers said they were told at the time by Brown's representatives that the singer lost his passport and could not make it to the concert. In a complaint, the Mayagawa Development Corporation says Brown and his Canadian promoter John Michael Pio Roda backed out of the concert after they were paid in full for $1 million contract. MDC promoted the concert and sold tickets based on the guarantee that Brown would perform, the complaint alleged. The religious group filed a formal complaint with the prosecutor at the Department of Justice, a preliminary step before filing the charges in court. Brown was being delayed while immigration officials consulted with the Justice Department about the case, Tan said. Eminem laid down a typically controversial freestyle on Thursday morning's episode of Sway in the Morning on M's own Shade 45 Sirius XM channel. Filled to the brim with pop culture references and off-color jokes, the 8-minute segment found the rapper showing off his, as ever, unrepresented flow. He rapped about Caitlyn Jenner. "This is a true statement. I see the bitch in you, Caitlyn. I keep the pistol tucked in like Bruce Jenner's dick. No disrespect, though, not at all. No pun intended. That took a lot of balls." Eminem has never apologized for his lyrics, though, and it seems pretty unlikely he's going to start now. And now let's look back at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1982, Survivor's Eye of the Tiger from Rocky III tops the U.S. pop charts. The Rocky franchise produced its second #1 pop hit on its day in 1982 when Survivor's Eye of the Tiger began a 6-week run atop the Billboard Pop Charts. The first #1 hit from Stallone's boxing series was Gonna Fly Now, theme from Rocky, which topped the charts in the summer of 1977 with a very different tone than the hard-charging Eye of the Tiger. Like this film's main character who transforms himself from a lovable, if bumbling palooka in the first Rocky into a vengeful, muscle-bound warrior in Rocky III, Eye of the Tiger eschewed subtlety in favor of brute force. But as brute force pop songs go, few have been more effective than the one and only #1 hit from the Chicago bar band, Survivor. Survivor was handpicked by Sylvester Stallone to write a song for the second Rocky sequel after he heard their minor 1981 hit, Poor Man's Son, a mid-tempo number in the vein of Foreigner or 38 Special. For the Rocky III soundtrack, Stallone told songwriting band members Frankie Sullivan and Jim Peterick that he wanted something with a strong beat that would appeal to the rock crowd. What he got was one of the most effective and popular soundtrack hits of all time, as Eye of the Tiger raced to #1 on the pop charts and remained there for 6 consecutive weeks, 5 weeks longer than the theme song of the original Rocky. As for Survivor, they turned out a respectable run of 6 more top 40 hits over the subsequent 4 years, including the #2 hit, Burning Heart, from the Rocky IV soundtrack in 1985. And on this date in 1998, the director Steven Spielberg's World War II epic Saving Private Ryan is released in theaters across the United States. The film, which starred Tom Hanks and Matt Damon, was praised for its authentic portrayal of war and was nominated for 11 Oscars. It took home 5 for Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Sound, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound Effects Editing. The film's lengthy opening was a bloody reenactment of American troops landing on Omaha Beach in Normandy, France on June 6, 1944. Following this violent D-Day scene, Saving Private Ryan centered around the fictional story of Captain John Miller, played by Hanks, and his band of 7 Rangers who are sent on a mission to rescue Private James Francis Ryan, played by Damon, a paratrooper missing somewhere behind enemy lines. Ryan's 3 older brothers have recently been killed in action, so military officials ordered Miller to find the young soldier and prevent a public relations disaster. As the men make their way across the battle-scarred French countryside, they suffer several casualties before eventually locating Ryan in a bombed-out village where he is helping to defend a strategically important bridge from the Germans. Ryan refuses to leave his comrades even after Miller gave him the news of his siblings' deaths. Miller reluctantly agrees that he and his squad will stay to defend the area. When the Nazis attack, the captain and many of his men are killed, but Ryan survives. Private Ryan was a fictional character, but there was a historical basis to his story. Following the deaths of the 5 Sullivan brothers from Waterloo, Iowa, on the USS Juneau in November 1942, the U.S. War Department established the sole survivor policy to protect remaining family members from combat duty. Saving Private Ryan was partially inspired by the real-life story of the Nyland brothers. During World War II, Sergeant Frederick Fritz Lannon, a member of the 101st Airborne, was accidentally dropped behind enemy lines. He eventually made it back to his unit, where he was informed that 2 of his brothers had died in Normandy, and the 3rd had gone missing in Burma. Nidland was sent home to Tonawanda, New York. His family tragically had a somewhat happier ending, however, when the brother who was believed to have died in the Far East was liberated from a Japanese prisoner of war camp. And that is your entertainment report for Friday, July 24th. 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back on Monday to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. Or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio. Just search for The Entertainment Report and it'll take you to the page. Good night and God bless you all.